Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I have some builders in Houston that I work with. We were supposed to put on an event, but it got canceled due to the coronavirus.
Yeah, so many things have been canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew it was real when they
Yeah.
canceled the rodeo.
Yeah.
I was like, they don't cancel.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I said the same thing. I was like, oh, it's serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I heard they canceled that, I was like,
we are live, everyone. We are live.
Hey.
It's really serious in Texas when there's no rodeo.
Exactly.
Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. We are officially live on Facebook, and welcome to Super Series Tuesday. We are actually on episode, would this definitely be episode 3 or 4?
This is 3.
We are at episode 3, and today we will be discussing down payment assistance as the bridge to home ownership. And we are so excited to have with us today Eminyo Sebekia.
Hello.
With Shanoa Fund. And today we are actually going to discuss using Shanoa Fund as down payment assistance. And ironically enough, today our president had the mortgage do's and don'ts meeting with the NARAB membership. And during that meeting, my Ronnie Smith brought up Shanoa Fund because she is a loan officer in New Jersey, and she utilizes the Shanoa Fund there as a bridge to homeownership for her clients. So I thought that it was just perfect that we are having this today to where you can talk to our members and also to our audience, our Facebook audience, those that subscribe and follow House Then the Car. For those of you that do not know, House in the Car is a campaign to help promote more African-American millennials to home ownership. And we are on that mission. There's 1.7 million African-American millennials that are mortgage ready, but have decided not to purchase. And what Stephanie has done is through our research, we've identified areas at which they have stated are concerns. And down payment assistance is one of those concerns. Stephanie?
Yes, in my interviews with the millennials and just some other home buyers, they have all stated that they're concerned about the down payment. Of course, we have debunked some myths that they are required to put 20% down. So we have educated them and let them know that there are down payment programs available. Also, down payment loans, I'm sorry, not down payment loans, but down payment requirements of 3%, 3.5%, and some 5%. Mm-hmm. And also 100%. So we let them know everything that's available to them.
So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and pass it on over to Eminyo with Shanoa Fund. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure to be with you guys in your Realtors group, and we love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
So is my screen sharing now?
It's not. I think you have to hit, it's a blue button at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there we go. Okay, it looks like it was disabled for me. You would have to enable it for me.
Let's see. Can you see it?
Yes, there we go.
Perfect.
Awesome. So this is the Shanoa Fund program, and Shanoa Fund is a national down payment assistance program, and we basically service every state but New York. Unfortunately, New York is one of the states that we do not service, but if we find the need to, we will venture into that market. Just to begin with, we try to help groups, everybody. Our biggest mission is to make sure that homeownership becomes available to every American, because that is one of the ways that Americans build wealth. And as you know, everything that's going on crazy in the world, you can always come back home, and that'll be one of your places and a home of peace, tranquility. And when you have that house, you have that stability and you're able to build a family. So with the Chenoa Fund, we have 3 programs right now in the FHA realm that are operating, and there are different ways you can use that program. Now, because of COVID-19, we do have our conventional programs suspended, but we'll be rolling back out once COVID-19, the pandemic, subsides a little bit. So looking into the programs, couple of highlights that you need to know. It's a 0 down program. If you're able to get seller help and the sellers help you with your closing costs, we will come in with a down payment assistance of 3.5% to be able to assist you to get into the home. So no borrower investment required. What that means is that, like I said earlier, if the seller helps you with the closing costs, we come in and help you with the down payment of 3.5% of the purchase price or the appraisal, whichever is lower, to be able to facilitate you get into a home. The biggest thing and the biggest draw to our program is because of the flexibility and how we're able to operate. Flexibility being the FICO score. The minimum that we go to is 620 on 2 of our programs, which is our forgivable option and then our no income limit option. And the other option that we have available to you is the Rate Advantage program. That one offers low interest rates for you, especially when the market is right and everything's going well. It offers a lower rate than you would get on our forgivable or our repayable program. Move to the next slide, please. That. So let's see here. Next one, please. So depending on which program that you're planning on using and what state you're in, we cover a multitude of property types. We cover single family residence. We cover 2-unit properties, so like your duplexes. We cover townhomes, condos, PUD, detached, and modular homes. I will break down all the differences for you, but when you get with your realtors, they'll be able to give you more explanations on different type of homes and what kind of homes you can qualify for. But the high overview right now, just letting you know, you cannot use this program for 3-unit or 4-unit properties. It's not open up to those kind of home types, and then it's more of a investment type than a duplex is. A duplex is a 2-unit property that is great for you to be able to use, because then you can use one side as your home and rent out the other. Great way to bring some additional income into your home, especially when you're trying to build that wealth. Next slide, please. Awesome. So here is where we'll spend most of our time breaking down the program for you. Just a quick and easy way for you to understand what's going on and what kind of loan that you're trying to get into when you're talking to your realtors and the loan professional. The first one you see in the middle is this DPA Edge Soft Second. This is our most popular program because it is our forgivable program. On this one, it's an income restricted, so you have to be below 115% of the area median income, and we can help you with those income calculations to see if you qualify. And on that program, the biggest benefit on it is the down payment that you borrowed can be forgiven after you make 36 consecutive on-time payments to your first mortgage. Once you do that, the second mortgage goes away, and you can continue living in the home. And not saying that we'll come and kick you out after 36 on-time payments, but but you can continue doing what you want to do. You can refinance at that point. You can, you can look into a bigger home. And typically around that time, that's when people start building equity. And equity is a great thing to have when it comes to real estate, because you're that much closer to owning that home that you live in. Big benefit on this program too is that, especially if you're a student, you're coming out of college and you're trying to purchase a home, you have those student loans, you can use this program with a non-occupant co-borrower. That non-occupant co-borrower can be your parent or anybody that meets FHA guidelines to be able to help you get into a home and help you with the income and then the debt to income ratio and stuff like that to make you qualify and help you get into a home. The other program that we'll talk about is the one to the right, where you see the repayable second. That program is also very popular right now because you know, like when you graduate from college, you start making a lot of money because you have that financial backing now, but now it puts you out of the income limit restrictions. We said, okay, we'll be able to assist you with that because now you're building your family, you may have gotten married, and now you're looking to purchase a home and continue moving on with your life. So with the no income limits, it's truly as it says. There's no income limits. If you make $1 million, we'll still be able to assist you. But if you're making $1 million and you still need down payment assistance, there's some problems there that we're gonna have to address.
Mm-hmm.
But that program also starts at a 620. The DTI restrictions, it also allows for non-occupant co-borrowers. You can use both the DPA Edge Soft Second and the repayable second for 2-unit properties. So you can get that duplex and then put a renter in the other half, and then also put yourself in one of the halves and then collect that rental income and help subsidize and build some wealth that way. Or if you have a mother-in-law, it's a nice way to put her to the side and you don't have to worry about, you know, her coming into your business, even though she's right there.
And I mean, I want to talk about that one too, because a lot of our millennials, they have stated that they are wanting to invest. So
Correct.
This absolutely gives them an opportunity to become an investor, landlord, while pursuing the purchase of their first home and still obtaining down payment assistance.
Correct. Yeah, and this is a great program for you to get your feet wet with investing, because these two programs allow for concurrent home ownership also. So that means if you already got a home and then you're looking to move up and you need some down payment assistance, we can still help you with the down payment on your new and current home, as long as it's your primary residence, and you can keep the old home as a rental property. So that way you get your feet wet, you know what you're doing. And if you rent duplexes, typically they have HOA, so somebody will be helping with the lawn, so you don't have the full responsibilities of like being a homeowner. But then once you're ready and then you get into it and you realize what you're doing, you can then, by then you have enough equity to build and start investing.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Next slide.
No, last one we'll go over is the rate advantage. So the rate advantage on that program, it's for more qualified borrowers. It has more restrictions than the other program, but it gives you a lower rate on your FHA program than you would get on the other ones. And when you talk to any mortgage professional out there, they want to get you the lowest rate possible and for the lowest fees possible. So the rate advantage is always a good program to look at, but it comes with a lot more restrictions, as let's say your FICO score now, the minimum is 640. Your debt to income ratio cannot exceed 50%, and you cannot use non-occupant co-borrowers on this one. So it makes it a little bit tricky, but if you do qualify, it's a great program to look at.
Gotcha. And that non-occupying co-borrowers, and I'm hopeful that everyone understands exactly what that has the benefits of doing. It's almost like having a guarantor on a lease, giving you the opportunity to qualify for a home that you otherwise would not have been able to. So I'm liking that.
Yes, that's awesome. And yeah, it's just a great way to help promote home ownership, is because we understand not everybody's situation is the same.
Right.
And then we'll stop at these two slides here, because those other slides go into more details and we're trying to keep it as simple as possible on this. Mm-hmm. So I'll open it up to anybody that has any questions, but just to give a personal anecdote, if I could, I also made the mistake of buying the car first before the house. And my cousin works for a dealership. He told me he can put me in a nice Benz. I got it. I was happy living life, but I'll tell you the truth. Every time I go into the dealership, that's $300 out of my pocket that I could have put into a house. So
exactly.
It makes a lot of sense to get the house first. It helps your credit, your debt. It's looked at as an investment before you buy the car.
So that is exactly what House in the Car promotes. It's and I don't want everybody to think of it as just being the car. The car is just the vehicle. It's the other things. So if you obtain the house first and then that second, it does not affect your debt to income ratio for the other things, but it does for the house. And so I'm glad that you brought that up because that's a very important piece. Now, though, with the Shanoa Fund and it having the opportunity, for an example, we talk about student loans often, and the fact that student loans is another one of those barriers, very similar to the car that's preventing home ownership through a lot of individuals, and especially the millennial group. Now having the opportunity to still qualify for down payment assistance and have a non-occupying borrower, co-borrower on the loan, that opens up a lot of opportunity for our clients.
Correct. And I would say I'm your typical person that you were speaking to. If you would have caught me 2 years ago, I'd have told you the Benz was totally worth it. But now, looking at it, 2020 hindsight, it wasn't worth it at all.
And Minya, I have a question about the lenders that you guys work with. Is this program specific to certain lenders, or is it available for all lenders to work with?
It's available for specific lenders. They have to meet a certain criteria before they'll be able to be approved with us and use the program. So 2 things that we're checking on our lenders is to make sure that they're lending responsibly. Just for people who know the term, the neighborhood watch compare ratio, that's something that we look at to make sure that they're below the FHA requirements and they're meeting those requirements. That means that they're actually putting out good loans. And the second thing that we look at is their financial assets and making sure that that is also in place, and then they're a good standing lender, because we don't want to have a approved lender that's going to be going to bankruptcy like the next month, and then it doesn't make sense that they fund those loans. So it has to be an approved lender, and then we can provide you with a list of lenders in your areas. And that's part of my job, is to let home buyers, builders, and realtors like yourself know where and which lenders you can work with.
Awesome.
And is that list located on your website or from?
So it's not located on our website, but when you do go into our website, we have a lead generation. So the borrower just put in their name and information, and then it gets filtered down to me, and then I can let you know, hey, what lender in your area works best. And the typical question that we'll ask you is, hey, what state do you live in, what county, or what's the biggest city next to it, so that we can find a lender that we work with and have a close relationship with in that area to make it work. So like for Atlanta, Georgia, for example, we have Legacy Homes down there that would be able to assist you with your homes. And they're also realtors as well.
Gotcha. And I know that Maya just sent a message, and she said that she is a national lender for the realtors. Myrani Smith is a national lender, and she does work with the Shanoa Fund. We have Nicole, who says, yes, I wish I would have had this knowledge before I bought a vehicle. So it's good to hear especially those of us that are in the profession, share our experiences, because then the consumers can relate and understand in that way. It helps us promote the mission, of course. We have a question. What about Baltimore City?
Oh, Baltimore City, we one of the lenders I work with down there, her name is Ami. If you call her Amy, she will beat you up. She's kind of small, but she's feisty. But Ami with Sun West Mortgage, they do a lot of business out there in Baltimore with us. There's a couple others out there, some that come to the top of my head, like Guaranteed Rate, Cardinal Financial. But you can share my information with them, and I'll be more than happy to let them know what realtors and who to get them with in Baltimore to make it happen for them. But that's
that was one of the other questions, and that was, what was your contact information?
So my email address, you can share that with them, and then also my number is 385-275-6869.
Okay. Another question is, would this funding assistance be available for someone looking to relocate and purchase a home near Raleigh, North Carolina?
Yes, yes, we're in every state but New York. So if you're moving to Alaska, we'll be able to help you out there, but there's some bears out there, so be careful.
Good deal. Someone else says, who are the lenders in the Chicago, it says Chicago land in suburban area. They're familiar with Inland Bank and Guaranteed Rate. And they wanted to know if there were others, but I think that if they were to just contact you or go on to the website, they can complete the questionnaire and get all of the detailed information. Is that correct?
Correct. And then Inland Bank and Guaranteed Rate, we do have great relationships with them, and they do a lot of good work out of Illinois, Michigan, and the top area right there. So Inland Bank and Guaranteed Rate is a good one to go to.
On your website, do you have a link to where lenders can apply to get approved? Is that on the website?
Yes, that is on the website. And if not, you can always contact me, because that is my job with Chenoa Fund, is to go out there, educate lenders, realtors, realtists also, and then also home builders about what we do, who we are, and just to bring the whole ecosystem together to be able to help home buyers. Just one thing I was telling you guys about earlier was we were going to put up an event in Houston, Texas, with the specific home builders, about the new communities that they were building out there. And it was about 300 or 400 communities. And half of that was in the FHA world, where home buyers like students can get it right into and be able to move up to like a luxury home later on. And that's something that we would love to share with you guys, and then keep the whole ecosystem going.
Awesome.
That was another one of the questions, and then someone else shared. It's Nicole for sharing that website, chenoafund.org. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Perfect. So Nicole came behind and shared that information. One other thing that I did see when going through the presentation is that the loan product must be an FHA.
Yes, it must be FHA loan on those three programs that I spoke about, and then we can do another one later down the line once the pandemic subsides and we can talk more about the conventional.
Okay, perfect. I may have missed this. How much does the home buyer have to contribute? And that was the question. Joni says, I may have missed this, but how much must the home buyer contribute? And she also said hello. So sorry I didn't respond to your hello, but thank you for your question.
So the home buyer, it is tricky because lenders do have fees and people do have to get paid. But if it's structured properly, and this is where your seller's closing costs comes into play. If it's structured properly, you as the home buyer do not have to bring anything to the table. But if not, then your sellers cannot bring that much to the table for you, then you may have to offset some of the costs as yourself as the buyer. So what we would prefer is the sellers come in with a closing cost up to the 6% where FHA, and then with that you have plenty. And with some companies, you even get cash back at the closing table.
Gotcha. And someone else asked that you repeat your number.
385-275-6869.
Oh, and Sandra, thank you for typing that in for us. And then Sandra came behind and typed it in. Thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you, Sandra.
I don't know if we have any other questions coming through, but we'll give it just one more second. But we do have someone else on the line that we didn't get an opportunity to introduce.
I think that's Ty. They're talking to you.
Ty, and I hit the unmute for you. Welcome. I mean, you actually have the opportunity today to share the stage with you. 3 beautiful women. So we want to make.
Sorry, my internet is being absolutely crazy today, but it's nice to see everybody. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Another question, so that while that happened, we got another question. Is this a silent second mortgage or a grant?
It is a silent second mortgage on the forgivable option. So what that means is basically, if you make the 36 on-time payments, you don't have to worry about the down payment. But if not, then like, let's say you try to refinance or you try to sell the home before you make the 36 on-time payments, then at that point, you're in your refinance, your loan officer just has to pay off that balance for you.
Gotcha.
And then the rest of the programs are repayable, so they're not silent.
Well, looks like.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. And I was just gonna say, if someone missed this, of course, this is streaming live, so you can go back, or you can just go on to shanoafund.org and complete the questionnaire. And you may actually get a phone call from Emmanuel himself. So that would actually get all of your questions answered. This actually concludes today. I want to thank both of you. Thank you, Ty. Thank you for coming out. I want to give everyone the opportunity again to introduce themselves before we close out, and maybe there may be more questions flowing through, and I'll just read those before we leave. But my name is Letitia Grant. I am the chair of the campaign House Then the Car under the umbrella of NAREB, the NAREB 8 initiatives. Stephanie?
Hi guys, my name is Stephanie Milburn. I am the campaign manager for House Then the Car.
Perfect. And then I guess one more time, if you guys will give the website phone number before we conclude for today.
It's chenoafund.org, and my phone number is 385-275-6869. Thank you guys for having us, and we love working with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.